Wow. Gotta turn that down a little bit. Welcome, folks. Welcome to the bait shop. Warning. Will Rogers, danger. All right. Yeah, I'm in the yellow. We'll be all right. Another week. World cats. Turn that down. I don't know why it's so loud. Doesn't look like it's coming out that loud to you guys, though. All right. That's a little better. Ooh. World Cat Cup's going on this week. And the semifinals are today. Good luck to all you guys. Congrats to those that made it that far. I think it's the semis or something running today. Well, we're going to talk about catfish. We're going to go do a little catfish hunting. We're going to go to one of the spots that's in that tournament, which is the. I'm going to do it right. I'm not going to do it wrong. I always mention this one wrong because I was a moron. That's why I call it Marron River. I was a moron when I mistakenly bought an unlimited license one night on our stream. Anyway, we're going to the Marron River in Bolivia. We're going after some catfish. We're going after red tail, flat whisker. We're going to get by byproduct. We're not really going after him, so to speak. The ripsaw, gilded, and cerubum. By the way, I hear that cerubum is really, out of all the catfish, there's really a good tasting catfish. If you like catfish, I was lucky enough to eat some good catfish out from you folks that make it down there in the south. Make it a lot better than the folks up here in the north do. Anyway, yeah, it's really good catfish there, that cerubum. So if you ever get a chance to get your hands on that, you might want to try some. So that's the fish that we're going to go after tonight on Fishkin with Buck. Those particular, I mean, the Marron River has a lot of fish in it. I mean, you got the Apapa, the Bayara is down there, Brycon, butterfly. They got some good bass fishing down there. The butterfly peacock, the red peacock, that fish is really cool. The Yukunda, Oscar's down in there. What else is it? The Bayara. You can fish for then. Did I mention the Bayara's in there? Try Tambaqui, Trihara, Chihara, however you want to pronounce that. And of course, we got our piranhas down there, the red-eyed, the red-bellied. Can have that. The little nuisance guy, the red-tailed barracuda, he's down there. Some days he's just your favorite buddy because you can just catch him wherever you want to. And there's those days when you really need him. Ooh, it can be tough. Anyway, so he's down in there. And of course, we got the silver croaker also. So, I think I caught them all. Oh, spotted araku. Bait fish is in there. I don't know why we can't keep them. We should be able to keep the spotted arakus we catch. Maybe someday we'll be able to keep them. All we got to do is say, we want it for bait, so we don't get it. Okay, so then you don't get any money for it. You should still get your XP for catching it, though. But just don't get any money because you're collecting bait. That works for me. Come on, Fishing Planet. All right, so to catch these critters, a lot of different baits. Not a whole lot on the lure section. That's for sure. Worked when you put it up there the first time. Unbelievable. So, what do I like? Buck likes to take dead lambari, leeches. I like the huge cut bait, chicken liver. Spotted araku minnow works real well. What else do I like? Dead lamb, I already said that. Yeah. And huge cut bait. Chicken livers, yeah. That's kind of what I fish with down there. Or these catfish. That's kind of it. But, there's more on the list, guys. There's more on the list. For these catfish, freshwater prawns. Got your crayfish, frogs. All your cut baits. Now, the ripsaw, he's got a little bit different diet. So you got... he'll hit on that camu fruit. for the ripsaw. So he likes that. Some maybe even some morchi palm fruit, morichi palm fruit. You could try that out. That will work for him. But again, I get him to hit off. A lot of times, the last time I was there, I don't even think I pulled any leeches out. I think I caught everything down there, and it was all on dead lambari. The smaller cats, because the cerubum will hit that dead lambari. So will that ripsaw. So as far as baits go, your baits, believe it or not, the ones I got up there are the hot baits that are happening. They're catching the fish on down there. I can't believe that actually somebody's catching catfish on that X series spinnerbait with the tribal blades. I don't know. I mean, they hit them. Now, crankbait, yeah, I've caught catfish on crankbaits. I don't think I've ever caught one. Of course, maybe buck because you never put a spinnerbait when you went after catfish. I don't know. That could be it right there. Why? But that kind of threw me for a loop a little bit. I'm like, oh, all right. I put it up there. There it is now. So that kind of surprised me a little bit. But your soft baits are your craws, your crayfish, and shads. Really, that watermelon red flake crayfish, rubber crayfish, that works real good. The dim, the halo green craw, another one works superb. Those are the kind of two. I don't really use a shad too much. The rib shad I know works okay. I have tried that a lot, but if I'm going to go rubber, I usually go with that watermelon red flake. If I'm going in the daytime fishing, at nighttime I'll switch over to that craw just to switch up. But they both both work real well there. All right, so let's talk a little bit about these guys. Red tail. If you're going to go after that uni, huge cut bait on an 8/0 hook. That's basically it. These guys, 4/0 to 8/0 for the red tail. The gilded, again, 4/0 to 8/0. And the gilded is the same thing. Go after that uni gilded with the same bait. That's the huge cut bait and 8/0 hooks. That'll get him. Flat whiskered, that's like a 2/0, 5/0 fish right there. I fish for them with the 5/0. They'll hit 6/0 because you're going to catch them even if you're not baited down that low. You know, if you're not tackled down that low, you're still going to pick them up. So, and those guys there, the quickest way to that one is a raku minnow with the raku minnow with a 7/0 for that uni flat whisker. The ripsaw, and again, he's a 1/0 to 5/0 guy. Camu bait on a 4/0. I fish for him camu on a 5/0 and still get that uni. So I don't normally go for these catfish. I don't go down below 5/0 personally myself. But these guys are hitting them with, they hit them with a 4/0, and you might have a better chance. But to me, 4/0, you're picking up a lot more riffraff when you get down that small. All right, the cerubum, what's good for him? He's another 4/0 to 5/0 kind of guy. He's got a real small window there for a cerubum. But again, you'll pick him up on 6/0, 7/0. So that's the uni cerubum, dead lambari on a 7/0 hook. And that's how you want to fish that one. Now the cerubum is the one that they caught that X series with the X series spinnerbait. Okay, I could see. I looked down here at my notes because I knew I had to look that up, and I did write it down. I said, because where? What did they catch on that? And it was this cerubum. Okay, so that's a little bit of background on these fish. Kind of what you want to hunt for them with. Let me look if we get anything. We've got anything. Now remember, the Marron River is level 63, and we're going to talk about level 63 because it's a big tackle. Also, you turn 63 years old in Fishing Planet, level 63. You get to go to the Marron River for finally the big. I mean, yeah, we had some big, the arapaima. We had a chance to catch some arapaima in Maku Maku, and we got introduced to the Bayara and the Bayara. which to me are a little bigger over in Maku Maku than here. But I mean, here is catfish. I mean, that's big, big, big cats. Not red tail and gilded. You're 100-pound beasts over here in this river. This is catfish haven here. I love it. A lot of other good fishing. The tambaqui is wonderful fighting fish here, and of course, you got that chahira, and that fish is. I mean, he's a beast. Let's just face it. That's good, fun fishing there. So, but I'm not. We're not geared up for. I did bring. I did cheat because I'm going to be down here to make a little bit of money. But we'll make every bit of money we need to tonight just by catching these catfish. So it's not a matter where you got to hang around to make money. You come down here in a couple hours and you've made your expenses. It's not like anywhere else that we've been to yet so far. Not as you're moving up the ladder when you find, and that's why I'm at this point on my Steam account, my don't buy nothing free, my free account over there. I just made it to 63, so I was shopping for a bottom rod, and I said, well, the World Cats Cup's going on. We haven't been to the Marron River since back in September of last year. We went piranha hunting actually and did a little bit of catfish hunting. So I thought I'd go back. Anyway, it all ties in because I really want to talk about what do you do at level 63 when you're about to go to Bolivia. You've been fishing on heavy chaser bottom rods, which I'm not saying you can't do it, but those big red tail and gilded will wear you out if you're on heavy chasers. You really don't want to go down there. So tonight we're going to talk about the rest of the show. Did I get through everything here? I think I did. We're going to talk about this dilemma at 63. What do you do? Because now we're out of heavy chaser. You can't get to Mackenzie. We're in Cazadora land. So, and it's a predicament because there's reels you can't buy at 63. You can't build a balanced setup until 65, actually. What do you do at 63? You pull your hair out. You're like, they're forcing me to buy and build a setup that I don't like. It's not what I want to use. It's not, and they do this to you all the time in Fishing Planet. You get the stick that you want, but unfortunately you can't get the reel that goes really with that to balance it for another 2 levels. So you're kind of either you wait till you get up 2 more levels to even buy the stick, or what I used to do is just buy the stick, save a little bit on my pocketbook. It's called budgeting. Buy the stick at the level I wanted to buy it. Don't buy a cheap reel and force myself to use it because you're spending money, man. What are you going to do with that cheap reel in 2 levels? You don't need that reel anymore. So you're better off to just suffer a little bit for 2 levels. It'll make you fish harder because you want to get up there to that 2 more levels, and then I get that reel that I want. And so that's how I kind of did it. Yeah, it worked for me. So we're going to talk about that because it's a big predicament here, level 63. We want to see. So, that being said, right over here, Buck. Oh. Yeah, it's ready to go. All right, my sticks. Hello, let's work. Okay, now it's working. All right, bottom rods. I'm going all bottom rod setup this time, just for tonight because we're gonna go. Because I'm kind of testing some things too. So we'll see. I brought the big guy, Mackenzie. All right, so he's an 86 pounder. We're running him 86 pounder, 86 engine. I've got 88 line on here. I run 88 line, and of course, I'm going to fluorocarbon. 83.8 fluorocarbon at this point. This is good. This will handle these guys. Huge cut bait on him with a number. I believe, what did I put on him? I think it's a 10-aught hook on this guy. All right, we drop down to the next one. This here is the 81-pound Mackenzie. So I got an 81-pound Mackenzie here. Same deal. 81. 79.4 on this came in a DLC, 79.4 on the engine, and horsehair 79.3. So it's real good, right around 80. It's an 80-pound setup all the way around. So we're going to use this guy against these things. Um, Again, running here 77.1 on the leader. So 79, 77.1, and we're running 8-aught hook on him. Fifth position again. Now this is the dang it. I need some water here. What happened to you, Buck? All right, this is a La Cazadora. This is the 72-pound La Cazadora. So this is the Cazadora here with the Torbellini on it. Right, this is the 70.5 Torbellini. Now this is where this kind of we're getting into that range right now where the big hoopla discussion comes in at level 63. This setup is a DLC. So he's 72.7, 70.5 on the engine, 70, 60. I run, because it came with, I believe, 70 point, I don't know. I can't remember now. One of them came with 70.5 fluoro. I didn't like that. So he's got 69.5 braid on here and 65.5 on the mono leader. Just couldn't get a fluorocarbon leader close enough. All right, this one here, another Cazadora. This is the live bait Fiesta Cup. So this is actually 68.3, but it's beefed up. It's beefed up because you can't buy there is no 70.5 Cazadora. It's a 68.3. But this is the 68.3, it's just a little higher end. They beefed it up so that the Torbellini would go on it. So it's the same reel as this one. And they just beefed up the lower stick to come up to that. So that's what I got here. Now this one here they're running, this is 75, 70.5, 70.5 fluoro, 70.5 fluoro, which this is really dumb in my opinion. I mean, you're running straight fluoro. You don't need a fluoro leader, but in Fishing Planet, you have to, on a bottom rod you have to run a leader. They make you run a leader on the bottom rod for some reason. Even when you're running straight fluoro, you normally wouldn't have to. I mean, only if you're running braid you need to run a leader like that. I don't get it, but okay, that's one of their rules. And last but not least, the big deal in question. What do we do here at level 63? Here's the Cazadora 10.2. This is the 68.3. This is the one in the game. This is the one you get at level 6. You get access to at level 63. This is the one that you have to go down to Bolivia with. So how do you build it? Well, let's talk a little bit about how to build this stick. Because this is the stick you want, by all means. I mean, at this level, at that level, if you're level 63, that's the stick you want. Now, why do I say that? Well, let's go over and take a look. There's a reason. All right. That's the 10.2, which, of course, that's kind of what they make the SE out of. Okay, so you can actually get this at level 54 if you've got the 490 gold. All right, so you can do that. Now here, it's 61. It's a 9.2. It's a short stick, considering the rest of them. So you're going to throw the shortest, and it's a 50. It's a 63.9. Now that's not much of a upgrade from your 59-pound heavy chasers that you've been running with. So you're not really buying much at 50, even though that's a big spread, 50 to 61. I know we've been using these heavy chasers for a long time. Now we're at 63. You really, but you made 63. Hopefully you didn't buy this stick at 61. You waited and realized it's 63. This is the one you want, the 68.3. This is the one you can build the perfect setup out of. That's kind of why they do it with the SE. They kind of make the golden one, the stick that's probably out of the three that they normally give you is the best one. So that's, and if you look, the specs are in favor of that. That's what this is. So let's look at the stick. 35 to 68.3. Really good. 10-2. And the reason I say, well, what's wrong with the 72? Well, there's really no real. I mean, you're getting a couple of extra pounds out of the stick, really. That's it. If you want to wait to 65, but it's really useless because the stick you want to build is this one at 63. However, they kind of screw you, and we'll talk about that. Let's go over here to the reels. Hey, Mike, how are you, Mike? Stop by to watch. Ain't talked to you in a long time. So let's go over to the spinning reels here now. I know this is probably right at the end here. We'll just back up a little bit. Now, here's where we at. 63, 64, 65. What? And so we got the stick. It's a bottom rod. Now, it's made by Old Chubber. This kind of tells you a little bit when you're playing this game, Fishing Planet. It's like I said, it's a lot like real life stuff. Old Chubber, they make carp rods. They make bottom rods. They make, that's what they do. That's what they specialize in. If you notice, their tackle boxes all have ground bait slots. They're more of the power fishing manufacturer. So they make these reels that we have here in this game are made specifically for the rods that we have in this game. However, they don't really match them up really well, not like some of us fishermen like to be. So let's take a look at what do they got for us for the La Cazadora lineup. Well, these are the three. Your Torbellini 9000, the 10,000, and 11,000. And they're the Old Chubbers. If you look, they're much heavier. They're a much heavier reel, 25 and a third ounce versus the match catch, okay? That's 5 ounces difference, lightweight. Now, the match catch is made by Rivertex. They make match rods. They make match rods. This goes to the spell launcher. It's the same colors, it's the same weights. This is a spinning. Why here too? Because look at the ratio and recoveries. You got 47.2 recovery on this match catch versus a 45.3 on the Torbellino. Torbellino being built for a bottom rod. It doesn't, you don't really need to be yanking them in fast. You want heavy built. You look at the bearings here. This is a 9+3. What's that 9+3 mean? So for you guys, you beginner guys, well, that's all reels are built on this bearing system. That means there's nine bearings that run that spool. And there's 3 bearings that run out on the top. It's basically like your friction, your line, the way everything works in the front of the reel. And that's how many bearings. And it's all in how smooth that reel will run. Now, if you look at the bearings between these two manufacturers, they're pretty much the same. You got 10 and 1 on the Rivertech, and the Old Chubber's running 9+3. A little heavier in the front end, a little smoother in the front end. Up to you probably got one that runs the bail, one that runs two that run the friction control up here. So that's your front end loading there, and it's the smooth. So they're very smooth between the two of them. Okay. Now, poundage wise, well, with that stick that we're looking at is a 68.3. So at level 63, you can either throw this 62.8 Torbellini on it, or you can throw the Match Catch 8000 on it, which is a 64.5. Now on my Steam account, because I'm not 64 or 65 yet, I had no choice. I was forced to throw the Match Catch 8000. I'm still running 66.1 braid on this. It won't hurt it. I mean, it's gonna, it's not gonna damage it, but I'm gonna wear the reel out faster. I'll have maintenance costs with this setup because I'm running 66.1 against that 68.3 stick. So this, what you want to run is this 66.8. It's level 64 is okay. That's 66.8, 66.1 line. That's a good setup right there. You can run that. With that one, the recovery's 43. Now, 65 is when you really get the reels to make that stick worth its weight in gold. There are these two here. You gotta wait. You gotta wait till you can get here to do that. Now, I'm on a level 80 account. I already have these reels. I'm not building this stick over here. I can just go and get the stuff I need, how I want to build it. In fact, now, what you want to think about here is, at level 65 is when you put these reels on here. Now, the match catch at 65 will give you 67 pounds. So you got 67 pounds, it's a lighter weight reel, but look at the recovery, 47.2. So you get faster recovery on this match catch because, of course, it was meant to go on a match rod, not a bottom rod. But it's lighter weight. It's not as durable, but it hangs. I have it. We're going to run it tonight and take a look at it. And then there's the 11,000 Torbolino. This was the one that was meant because you put that 70.5 and you run now if you run the 60, if you run the 66.1 braid on this, you're good all the way around because you got a 68-pound stick, 70 here, 66 braid. Everybody's happy. You hardly ever have to do any maintenance on that reel because it just doesn't get. That's the way to go. It doesn't get beat up. I mean, that's the ultimate way to build that stick and run 66. So you can even bump that up to the 69.5 braid. Now, where you're going to have problems there is the 69.5 braid will still, you'll put a little more wear on your reel. Not much, but a little bit more. But you're going to put more wear on your stick because your stick's only 68.3. So if you go up to that 69, you go over the stick, now you're going to be, and of course, its line is the cheapest, the stick is next, and then the reel is most expensive to repair. So it's how you want to handle it. So that's kind of what you want to do. So let's go back over to inventory. What I did tonight, I'm starting off with the 9,000. So this is the 67 pounder. We're going 66.1, like I said. But I brought the Torbolini 11,000 with me. If I see I'm running into trouble and I say, oh wow, this is going to cost me a lot, because I haven't hooked this one up yet. To test this particular setup. I haven't tested this against the big cats, so we'll see what kind of wear and tear we get on this reel right away. I'm not going to let it beat me up to where it costs me a whole lot of money. I'm not into that. Buck doesn't do that. So if I see that this reel is not going to handle these big cats, then we'll bump her up. All right. Well, that pretty much did it, Bug. Timed that right up. Last two sticks I'm bringing, folks, is this one here. Frumpy stopped no matter what. This is the Black Needle 7.6 and the Scarlet Thread on this guy here. This is the DLC here. Spinning rod. I need something to go after the Trihara with. This is the stick here. You want something about this weight, this size. So I brought this one along here. This is the same thing as the topwater kayak. You can't really buy this stick in the game because of this 24 to 60 pound thing. That's where it gets you at. And the Scarlet Thread's a 56 too. There was a 58 pound, the topwater kayak, it runs a 58 pounder. But again, this is your 47 too. Big recovery. For a spinning rod, that's, you want fast recovery, unless of course you're working something slow on the bottom, like but then again, if you're fishing bottom stuff like that, that's where the bait casters come in. I like to run use my bait casters for my crankbaits, for my anything that I'm running deep, that I'm running deep and slow. What are they? The runners, your minnows, anything you run mid column and you run it, you got to keep it up a little bit quicker. And I like to put those lures on a spinning rod and work a spinning rod with them. But if you're working a bait slow, and then of course by all means you want something that's got a slow recovery to begin with, because then you have all of the different, your retrieve settings, your 4 retrieve settings on top of that. And, something else I wanted to talk about when we talked about these reels that really matters a lot, and I forgot to mention it, and that's the friction sections count. I mean, that's basically, which is where Fishing Planet gets it all wrong. This should have been a variable like depth is. It should have been a percent, and you clicked it up. Each click was a percent, 1%, 2%, because that's all it is, a percentage of pressure applied to slow that down. It's not a click, so you're not clicking up all these things at one time. So what you want to, anytime you're fighting big fish, and bottom rods are essential for that. And I was worried about between the match rod and the bottom rods, if there may be a difference between match catch and Torbellino, between Old Chubber and River Tex, and there isn't. They're both 12 section friction, so that's the highest in the game. That gives you the 12 settings. See, because the filers, now this is here, now you're hunting big fish, filers, big fish, and you only got 8 settings. No, 8 settings on it. So one click, and if you're hunting if you're fighting an 80-pound fish, one drag setting could mean snapping your line with these filers. That's kind of why I don't like using these guys for big fish, just because of that fact that that's an 8 count. Which is in the middle. I mean, you get down to, of course, they're all mainly all in the lower end, where there's 6. Anything up in here is going to be 8 to 12, and 8 is the bad part. 8's the bad ones. You want 12. All right, guys. Did you cover everything? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Now, for the size of these fishes, what we're geared up for, current standings right now that we're going to be looking at 8 o'clock, what we're going after, that the big gilded right now, 174.8. The red tail was running 172.2. Where are we at here? Ripsaw, 27.6 pounds. And the cerubum right now, the uni's 31.3. So that's kind of the size of the catfish. If we're chasing that uni, that's what we want, right? We'll be back at 8 o'clock. Hope you got something out of this one. If you got something out of this, remember to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And get to know about some of these, what do you call them? The videos. As I put them out, so you don't have to go looking for them. All right, folks. We'll see you later. Never, ever give up the fight.